Hello, my name is Anne-Marie Evans, and I would like to welcome you to my 5th set of literature critiques. For this set, I present 8 children's books, and I've chosen one of those books to be my feature text and created 2 lesson plans to accompany this book. My feature text for this set is Wolf in the Snow by Matthew Cordell. This is a picture book in which the only words are onomatopoeia. This is a fun book for young readers to use to practice expression. I chose this book because it requires very little knowledge of words and really encourages the reader to use emotion in saying the onomatopoeia and promotes oral reading in this way. The first lesson that I created to accompany this book is an English language arts lesson for 1st grade. And the Common Core State Standard that I chose to accompany this lesson is use illustrations and details in a story to describe its characters, setting, or events. First, the students would read the story to themselves, and then they would create a Flipgrid in which they read 2 to 3 pages from the story, but instead of just reading the onomatopoeia, they would create their own story to go along with it based on the pictures in the text. Then they would share on Flipgrid the video that they create of them reading the pages, and in this way, the other students in the class can see it, and their parents could also get a link to view their work. Here is an example Flipgrid that I created for Wolf in the Snow. Here you can see that there is a question that the students need to respond to, and it says to record a video narrating pages from Wolf in the Snow, and because there are very few words on the page, they get to make up the words themselves, and they're reminded to use expression. Here's an example of a response that a student might create. I chose to use Flipgrid for this lesson because it really allows the students to show their expression as they're reading and to view each other's expression as they're reading to learn from each other as well. The second lesson that I created to accompany this text is a 5th grade science lesson. I used the Next Generation Science Standard, construct and or support an argument with evidence, data, and or a model. And for this lesson, the students would read the story The Wolf in the Snow. They would then discuss the way that the man helping the wolf was actually probably not a great idea because wild animals can be dangerous. Then I would have them each pick a different wild animal in a different location in the United States and do research on the appropriate way to react if you encounter this animal in the wild. Then I would have the class collaboratively create a Google tour builder showing the different wild animals in different regions of the United States and appropriate ways to respond to them if you find them in nature. Here's an example of a Google tour builder that the class might create. Each student would be responsible for a different location, and here's an example of a black bear in Yosemite National Park, and there's a short description of what you would do if you see the black bear, and I also included a link to a web page that talks about the black bears in Yosemite and gives the contact information for the park rangers in the event that you do see a bear. I chose to use Google Tour Builder for this lesson because it allows the students to collaborate to create the tour and to share this new information that they learn with a wide audience through sharing it publicly on Google Tours. The next book in my set is Princess Academy by Shannon Hale. In this book, Miri is a young girl living on a mountain with her papa and her sister. One day, a messenger from the king comes to their tiny village to deliver a life-changing message. The Judge, an Untrue Tale by Harvey Zemek, is a hilarious poem about a judge who dismisses his cases a little too quickly. Why Mosquitoes Buzz in People's Ears by Verna Ardima is a West African folktale that explains why mosquitoes buzz in people's ears. The next book is Sarah Plain and Tall by Patricia McLaughlin. In this story, Caleb and Anna miss their mother and talk of her often. Their father decides that he will write an advertisement for a woman to be their new wife and mother. Sarah answers the advertisement and decides to give it a try. Crossing Buck Cheeto by Tim Tingle is a folk tale about the friendship that grew between an Indian girl and an African American boy. Lon Po Po, a Red Riding Hood story from China by Ed Young, is a Chinese folk tale. In this tale, a wolf tries to trick the three sisters into letting him stay in their house. But will they outsmart him? Hot Air, the mostly true story of the first hot air balloon ride by Marjorie Priceman, is a book that contains information about the first hot air balloon flight taken by 3 barnyard animals, with a hint of imagination to spice up the story. Thank you for watching my 5th set of literature critiques.